For the headlines, the birth of National Museum of the Philippines.
History of Casarial Shrine.
All about Pinto Art Museum.
Baraswain Church, a symbol of history and faith for 4 centuries.
Good day Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Today is May 8th. I am Kaylin Lopez revealing you the on-the-go news.
And I am Kathleen Saez revealing you the hottest and latest issues. And this is Balitaptap News.
For our first news, the National Museum of the Philippines traces its history to the establishment of the Museo Biblioteca de Filipinas. Here is Erica Garland for more information.
The National Museum of the Philippines traces its history to the establishment of the Museo Biblioteca de Filipinas, established by a royal order of the Spanish government on August 12, 1887, but was abolished in 1900s at the onset of the American occupation of the Philippines. And by October 29, 1901, the Insular Museum of Ethnology, Natural History, and Commerce is considered to be the direct precursor of the National Museum. The National Museum, a trust of the government, is an educational, scientific, and cultural institution that acquires documents, preserves, exhibits, and fosters scholarly study and public appreciation of works of art, specimens, and cultural and historical artifacts representative of the unique cultural heritage of the Filipino people and the natural history of the Philippines. It is mandated to establish, manage, and develop museums comprising the National Museum Complex and the National Planetarium in Manila, as well as regional museums in key locations around the country. In addition, there are over 10 branches of the National Museum located in all regions of the country, representing the origins and visual representations of Philippine culture. The National Museum manages and develops the national reference collections in the areas of cultural heritage such as fine arts, anthropology and archaeology, and natural history including botany, zoology, geology, and paleontology, and carries out permanent research programs in biodiversity, geological history, human origins, prehistorical and historical archaeology, maritime and underwater cultural heritage, ethnology, art history, and movable and immovable cultural properties. Appreciation of the collection and research findings of the museum, as well as technical and museological skills and knowledge, are disseminated through exhibitions, publication, educational, training outreach, technical assistance, and other public programs. The National Museum also implements and serves as a regulatory and enforcement agency of the government with respect to a series of cultural laws and is responsible for various culturally significant properties, sites, and reservations throughout the country. It is the lead agency in the official commemoration of Museums and Galleries Month, which is the month of October every year.
Thank you, Erica. On to our next news. Casarial Shrine is one of the must-visit historical sites in Malolos City, Bulacan. Here's Elaine Tayag for the news.
Casarial Shrine is one of the most visited historical sites in Malolos City, Bulacan. It was built in 1580, became the town's Casa Tribunal, Ayuntamiento, and Casa Prudencia Municipal, and was the residence and office of the Gobernadorcillo during the Spanish time. It was the site of the Imprenta Nacional of the First Republic, where the revolutionary organs La Independencia, El Heraldo de la Revolution, Kalayaan and Kaibigan ng Bayan were printed. The printing press of the 1896 Constitution and the Heraldo de la Revolution. This house served as a printing press during the Malolos Republic, then was restored in 1852 and converted into a municipal library. Caseria Shrine also became the seat of the American military government, then turned into a hospital in 1923, and annexed to the Bulacan High School in 1941, and was the Japanese Chamber of the Commerce headquarters during the Japanese occupation.
It is now a museum under the management of National Historical Institute and serves as the final repository of still existing memorabilia. This structure played a gigantic role in the Philippine Republic. One of the permanent exhibits of Caseria Shrine are relics of the brave women of Malolos, of whom Rizal wrote a poem to honor their courage of setting up a school against objections from the towns of friars.
All about Pinto Art Museum. Stay tuned for more.
Isang taon pa lang ako, nasundan na ni Toto. Grade 2, 8 taon pa lang, 4 na bata ang inaalagaan. Grade 6, 12 na ako, kasing dami na ng pamilya ko. Sabi mo, pasensya na, walang pera kaya mag-drop out ka. Inakup, sabi mo kami mahal nyo, ari ko pati kayo nagplano. Sana hindi gutom at nag-aaral pa, alaga't malusog ang buong pamilya.
Ang planadong buhay ay maayos na buhay.
Chismis, chismis, may TV si Mang Ben.
Tama na ang chismis. Pag nag-dose, TV nagagamot. Anim na buwang gamutan, tutok sa pag-inom. Araw-araw. At healthy lifestyle, ipairal. Mag-dance every day, cause CLC all the way. Hala, ikalat ang balita. Si Mang Ben gumaling na. That's okay talaga. Ibalita sa iba. TVI, tultukan.
Welcome back to Balitaptap News. Pinto Art Museum is an exhibition space and contemporary museum located in the Philippines historic pilgrimage city of Antipolo, outside Manila. Here is Aliyah Kalalan for the news.
Pinto Art Museum is an exhibition space and contemporary museum located in the Philippines historic pilgrimage city of Antipolo, outside of Manila. The museum was founded in 2010 to publicly exhibit the art collection of Filipino neurologist and patron of the arts, Dr. Joven Quanang. The museum, Pinto means door in Filipino, was founded on the principle that art plays a diplomatic role in bridging distinctive nationalities, worldviews, and communities. Dr. Quanang began collecting in the spirit of local artistic patronage in the late 1980s when he championed a revolutionary Filipino artist collective, the Saling Pusa, through dedicated ownership and acquisitions. The political movements associated with the People Power Revolution in 1986 and the fall of the Marcos regime ushered an era of creative expression and artistic exploration. The museum collection includes work by artists Elmer Borlongan, Mark Justiniani, Jose Jan Santos III, Emmanuel Garibay, Rodel Tapaya, Geraldine Javier, Marina Cruz, Joy Malyari, and Antonio Leaño, among others, whose orbs compose a veritable record of the evolving contemporary cultural milieu. The aesthetic traditions represented in the collection trace to their roots to the history of Spanish colonial occupation and reference the tenets of academic and religious art, yet demonstrate a markedly different stylistic and technical trajectory following the proliferation of modernism in the mid-20th century. Artworks in the Foundation's collections reflect personal investigation of modernist movements such as Surrealism, Expressionism, Minimalism, Social Realism, and Conceptual art. The works are, however, distinguished by an innately Filipino adherence to cultural identity and national history.
Today, the Pinto Art Museum presents rotating exhibition of the Foundation's collection and oversees an adjacent gallery space that continues to exhibit and promote the contemporary Filipino artist. The museum is housed in a complex designed by Antonio Leaño and located within a 2-hectare botanical garden known as the Silangan Gardens, an ecological haven for the appreciation of the local flora and fauna.
For our next news, symbol of history and faith for 4 centuries. For more information, here is Abigail Cabiga.
The Baswain Church was originally founded by Augustinian missionaries and built for the Roman Catholic Masses in Malolos, Bulacan. During the mid-1500s to early 1600s, it was well known for its intricate architecture and adornments. However, it was burned down at the height of Philippine Revolution in 1800s. It was renovated and reconstructed, but its haunting beauty is still remain. Throughout the years, it has served the venue for various occasions. The most notable are these 3 major national events. First, the First Philippine Congress. Second, the drafting of the Malolos Constitution in 1899. And third, the inauguration of 2 Philippine presidents, General Emilio Aguinaldo, the President of the First Republic, and President Joseph Estrada, the 13th President of the Republic of the Philippines. In 1898, under what was then Revolution government, the Philippine capital was moved north to Malolos, Bulacan. The Baswain Church was chosen to be the site of the First Philippine Congress, more widely known as the Malolos Congress, headed by Don Pedro A. Paterno. This led to the drafting of the Malolos Constitution, which ratified in 1899. With the Constitution ratified, the Filipino were able to inaugurate the First Philippine Republic. It was because of this that the church was dubbed as the cradle of the democracy in the East. Only 2 Philippine presidents have been inaugurated in the church. First, General Emilio Aguinaldo was the president of the First Philippine Republic, also known as the Malolos Republic Revolutionary Government, in 1899. And second, former President Joseph Estrada, almost a century later in 1998. Interestingly, both presidents were unable to finish their term, the former due to captivity during the Philippine-American War, and the latter because he was impeached during the EDSA People Power to Revolution, and famously dubbed as EDSA II. Former President Ferdinand Marcos declared the Baswain Church as a national shrine as per his Presidential Decree No. 260 in 1973. The Baswain Museum, an interactive gallery beside the church, houses historical and cultural artifacts from the 1800s and more. There are documents and memorabilia from the aforementioned historical events. The most remarkable ones are a glass engraving of the newspaper El Heraldo de la Revolution, Herald of the Revolution, and an exhibit of the Philippine Constitution. The National Historical Commission, NHC, formally opened the upgraded Baswain Historical Landmark and Museum on Saturday during the 114th commemoration of the Malolos Congress.
The Baswain Church is located along Paseo del Congreso at the corner of Republica Street in the city of Malolos, Bulacan. It takes about 42 kilometers north Metro Manila, and depending on the traffic, it takes 1 to 2 hours to get to the church from the country's capital. It may seem like a long drive, but the experience is well worth it.
And this concludes our news for today. I am Kaylin Lopez.
And I am Catherine Saez.
We are revealing you the unrevealed truth. This is
Balitaptap News. Thank you and God bless.